I'm a principal in Roland Berger Strategy Consulting. I'm based in Dubai and I look after the tourism sectors for Roland Berger in the Middle East.
Thank you very much for joining us here on Breaking Travel News today. We're here at Arabian Travel Market and you've just launched a report, is that right? Perhaps you can talk us through what some of the findings were.
Yeah, correct. So that's basically a report about the UAE tourism strategy in 2031, some context there. So last year the government announced the UAE tourism strategy in 2031. So we decided it's actually quite an interesting piece of work. That's why we actually took the key objectives of that initiative and we defined basically our perspectives of what are the key elements that should be considered by the government to achieve the objectives that have been developed in this report, right? So this report basically, we were going to bring that out this week, right? We have some key findings in there, namely, one is we look at the future travel trends, right? And one key element is that the key source markets of individuals coming to the UAE will be more and more driven by the east. So basically there's a key source market shift from west to the east, right? So the key growing source market that we're going to see in the future is going to be from South Asia, Eastern Europe, CIS, and mainland China, right? That's one element. The other element that we've seen, there's a key need for more homegrown education entities of tourism here, because with all the growth and all the new hotels that come in, some people have to work in the hotels, right? And the question is where to get the talent from, right? And before, a lot of the talent was sourced from abroad, from Asia, from Europe and so on. But now there's some key drive to set up more education entities here in the Middle East to educate people right on the doorstep here and then hire the talent from these schools over here. More findings in there, but these are some of the key highlights of the report. Yeah.
That's great. And so with that shift to source markets to the east, does that mean that you have to change your offerings?
Yes, to some extent, yes. I mean, to look at this pragmatically, with people coming from the east, right? So you need to change language, for instance, right? Your signage, right? In hotels sometimes. You might have noticed that a lot of the menus and signage that you see in hotels right now, it's also Russian and Chinese and Indian, right? So maybe that was not necessarily the case like 10, 15 years ago, right? So these are simple things where you need to adapt your offering towards individuals coming from these source markets, right? I mean, that's like a very simplistic example, right? But there's plenty of things that you have to direct towards this. One is again, coming back to language, is hire more individual talent that speaks Mandarin, speaks Russian, speaks Indian, that speaks Hindi. That's quite important.
Great, and a key theme of the conference this year has been sustainability, and obviously you've got COP28 coming up in November. Yeah. Is that something, could you talk around that in the report?
Absolutely. So, I mean, sustainability, ESG is here to stay, right? So it's a key mantra of travel. I think travel has become much more conscious about the carbon footprint they cause when they go on that plane. I think they become much more conscious to select hotel establishments. If these hotel establishments are following sustainable initiatives, I think that kind of consciousness and making a decision where to stay becomes much more important for travelers. And then also more on the technology side of things. Yes, I mean we've seen it that hotels, transport companies, airlines, you name it, like all these players in the tourism industry, they are using much more sustainable technologies and energy efficiency friendly technologies to save energy, right? To save the planet, right? So I think that's going to be a mantra much more to see that we're going to see come through. Yeah.
That's great. And do you think it's a hopeful vision for the future?
I think so. I mean, look, we come out of COVID for 2-3 years. We had a big uncertainty if travel will bounce back to the same level that we had before COVID. I think ATM this year is a success. I think I heard that we are 20% more visitors than 2019 than pre-COVID. I think it's a good sign that the market is bouncing back strongly. And I think what's important for the Middle East is really that more and more the Middle East is not considered as a transfer destination going from east to west, from west to east, but more of a place where I go and spend my holiday there for 2 weeks. And I think that mantra is here to stay. Yeah?
Absolutely. And you're talking about ATM. Why are events such as this important to get your message across?
Well, I think it's just nice to meet people in person again, right? To have that physical experience. And ATM is just a fantastic event because there's so many players together at one spot, for 4 days, so you easily meet contacts, you easily reconnect, meet friends again. It's a good one. It's a good platform to be around. Yeah.
Great. And do you have a message for our viewers here at ATM and beyond?
Well, I would say go travel again. I think we lived in uncertainty for 2-3 years. Now we can travel again. No more PCR tests hopefully required to go onto planes. So go travel, summer around the corner in Europe, have fun and enjoy, have a good time.
Thank you very much for joining us here today.
Thank you. Thanks.